Far Cry 6 takes us to the fictional island of Yara, a beautiful Cuba-inspired island which also happens to be ruled by a fascist dictator, Anton Castillo.
I must extend the draft to paradise.
After 5 and several more prior iterations,
everyone knows what to expect from a Far Cry game. So understandably, it can get pretty hard to get excited about
another one.
Ubisoft, though, pulled out the big guns and announced that Giancarlo Esposito would be the one playing the primary antagonist, El Presidente, Anton Castillo. That definitely put the game on our radar. So here we are. We had a run at Far Cry 6 and here's our review. Yara is a fictional island in the Caribbean that's ruled by El Presidente, Anton Castillo. His dream is to restore Yara to its former glory, which he plans to do by selling Viviro to the world. What is Viviro, you ask? It's a smokable cured cancer that happens to grow only in Yara. Viviro is farmed and produced by slaves, or as Castillo likes to call them, outcasts and fake Yarans. Unlike
true Yarans from across our island.
In what is a rather gripping intro sequence, you, the protagonist, begin the game trying to flee from Castillo's tyranny. The game truly begins after your failed escape attempt from Yara, and your character is supposed to be the lucky one. You can choose to be either male or female, but your name remains the same either way. Dani Rojas.
They got my name wrong.
There's no face customization either, kinda like in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Dani is an orphan, who also served time in Yara's military. This does two things: justifies Dani being able to handle weapons, and also solidifies Dani's connection with the people of Yara. He or she knows what the people of Yara are going through.
Those eyes, guerrilla. You got a taste.
That's about all we'll say about the story in order to keep things spoiler-free. What we can tell you though, in typical Far Cry fashion, there are plenty of twists and turns in the plot.
They got my name wrong.
The story itself is a lot more closely linked to reality compared to other Far Cry titles, some of which even have supernatural elements. Compared to Far Cry 5's Joseph Seed, Castillo wouldn't seem so out of place in today's world. This puts a spotlight on the kinds of things people like Castillo do in the name of results. Food for thought. If you've played any Far Cry game, or open world Ubisoft game recently for that matter, you should already be familiar with all of the game's controls. Sneak up on enemies and assassinate them with your machete, scale cliffs and buildings with a grappling hook, use your smartphone to mark enemies and glean their weaknesses, and so on. Far Cry 6 also has a stealth mechanic that's similar to the Assassin's Creed games, wherein you can simply holster your weapon and the guards will pay you less heed. Not no heed, mind you, less heed. Wander too close to them and they'll start to suspect you. Of course, if you're trespassing a high security area, they're not gonna think twice. It wouldn't be a Ubisoft game if there wasn't plenty of stuff to do on the side. There's unique weapons to be found, hunting missions to complete, and side quests to pick up. In typical Far Cry fashion, you start out as an underdog with little to no equipment. As you progress through the game, you'll find new weapons and upgrade your arsenal using the trusty old workbench. And then, there's the Supremo. Combat in the game feels smooth and fluid. You can take the sneaky approach or go in guns blazing. You can modify your weapons for stealth or to focus on enemy weaknesses. Far Cry 5's Fangs for Hire system also makes a comeback, this time as amigos.
What do you think gave it away, Guapo?
Because who needs human follows when you've got Guapo the crocodile following you around? Your amigos serve as great distractions, sometimes for yourself,
Stop f***ing around, we got business.
but also do pretty well in combat. Yara has a lot of wild horses for some reason, but they're wild horses that you can actually ride, which is nice. You can pet and feed just about all of the wildlife on Yara, which is amazing. Of course, if horses aren't quite your speed, every kind of vehicle is up for grabs, from land to sky to sea. Driving is not the best experience in the game though, and does feel a bit disorienting. The game looks amazing. Yara is a beautiful island with beautiful beaches, teeming with wildlife and greenery. We played the game on an RX 6800 XT, so we were able to play the game on ultra settings without any hitches. There was a bit of screen tearing here and there, but that may have been more to do with our display than the game. Coming to the audio, you've got a pretty generic action-adventure soundtrack that works well with the game. The radios in houses and cars are all blasting upbeat Spanish music that fits the whole beach aesthetic of the game.
I could swear I hear music.
Then there's the voice acting, which is fantastic. It's one of the things Far Cry does really well, and they've certainly maintained that in Far Cry 6. Especially, we don't even need to say it, Giancarlo Esposito, who plays his role to perfection.
Yara did not elect me to do what's easy, but to do what's right.
Far Cry 6 is a Far Cry game through and through, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's got all the things you would expect from a Far Cry game and then some.
They got my name wrong.
Yara is beautiful and lots of fun to explore, and the story is pretty good as far as Far Cry games are concerned. And you learn the guerrilla rules from Yara's own Sun Tzu, Juan Cortez, in the process.
Guapo, you listen. Rule 16. A guerrillero's revolution never ends. Always another war, another cantina, another ugly bartender.
Overall, if you enjoy the Far Cry format or open world games in general with a decent but fairly predictable plot,
They got my name wrong.
Then Far Cry 6 is an easy pick. That's all from the SKOAR desk here at Digit. Remember to like, subscribe and follow our channel and let us know what you think of Far Cry 6 in the comments below. See you next time and thanks for watching.